Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I can remember why North Korea is bad and South Korea is good. Is because of their political system, the internal affairs. If that's the case, then I don't think there's a country that is supposed to impose another country how they should run their business over there, is it? Because otherwise it means that each and every country can get in everybody's business if they don't like something. For instance, let's say Japan doesn't like equity, diversity and inclusion bullshit, and they could therefore call the United States as being a bad country. I'm just giving an example for just to make a case that your political system or whatever happened in your country is that nation's business, not yours. So I don't remember what exactly happened between United States and North Korea. Did they fight after the war? After they decided, okay, this is North, this is South. Did the Koreans attack Americans? Did the Americans attack Koreans after the war was over? I don't remember anything happened to determine that North Korea is bad just because it was communist. I guess it is. Or not. It's not a communist. It's more than a communist country. It's whatever it is over there. But that's their business. It's like a family. That's their business. Unless you are the police and they get into a domestic violence and you need to go over there and try to investigate, or whomever you are, and you have the authority. The United States does not have the authority. Neither does North Korea the authority to get into US's internal affairs. If we are to be fair, if we're not to have to be fair and we just take it as who's got the biggest biceps or punches harder, then yes, then America has the right to do whatever they want with whomever they can. Well, unfortunately for them, they can't do much with North Korea but impose sanctions. They can't really militarily risk a confrontation because they will get a little bit of a bruise too. They will win, but they don't want to get hurt. They just want to have other people do the dirty job for them, like the Ukrainians with the Russians right now. So in this case, I can't determine why North Korea is bad towards Japan, or North Korea with Australia. Why would Australia consider North Korea bad? Is there anything that happened between the two? I don't want interpretations like, well, because they oppress their people or something like that. That's none of your business, after all. I don't like that, but then why do you get involved in other countries that have certain kind of religions that you might not, like how they run their policies over there based on religious, edicts. What I'm saying is I don't see any evidence that North Korea and United States got in something that I should consider you bad, aside from the fact that the North Korea was not supposed to, because some people determined, to have nuclear weapons. And therefore is bad. Okay, but why should you have? What is the whole premise is that you should have by birth, but these guys should not have. I'm not promoting them, they should have, but they have it right now. And then why we determine that you should have it, and only the 7 countries are supposed to have it, and another country that we should not talk about? Why is all that? I think there are 8 countries or something, with or without Israel. Who determined that? Obviously, North Korea was not asked. Obviously, the international community was not asked. That was imposed. Why? The United States dropped 2 atomic bombs. Nobody else did. So that should be disqualified all of a sudden. Boom, straight from the get-go. If we are to be fair. But go and ask America, hey, why don't you get rid of, you should not have nuclear weapons. Pff, ping, that's what they would do with you. Why? Because it's not based on morality. It's based on, I feel like because I have this and I'm going to punch you whenever I want. Now, we have a big coalition over here, again, making some pressure, putting pressure on China and North Korea on their territory, on their vicinity. Remember, Australia comes from there where they come from. United States come from across Pacific, they come here and they will protect everybody. It's very strange that I think these guys will push North Korea to react in a certain way and say, see, they escalated. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. What happened? Look at this article right here. From Associated Press. Kim's sister, which is Kim Jong-un, he's my woodchuck. Kim's sister warns North Korea ready to act against US and South. What's going on? Perfect, look at that. Is she evil? Yes, yes, yes. All right. So, South Korea, the influential sister of North Korea's leader, warned Tuesday that her country is ready to take quick, overwhelming action, and quote, against the United States and South Korea 1 day after a nuclear-capable B-52 flew over the peninsula. The United States flew the bomber to the Korean peninsula for a joint drill with South Korean warplanes. That means these guys are coming over next to North Korea, which is a bad dude, and they're going to have a drill, military drill with military planes and with nuclear-capable B-52 next to his country. Should they be comfortable? Should this woman be comfortable? Good or bad? Put yourself in her shoes, for instance. Good or bad? Put yourself with a neighbor. All the neighbors come around your property and they just practice, shooting. Bam, boom, bam, bim, boom, boom around you. Would you feel comfortable? I wouldn't. I will make sure that I get ready too, with everything I got. But do you like that? And who provokes who? Again, these guys provoke by being and sitting down on their nukes. Is that their provocation? Yes. Again, I'm not going to go over who dictates what and for what moral virtue here. Kim Yo-jong didn't elaborate on any planned actions in her statement. But North Korea has often launched missiles in response to US South Korea military drills because it views them as an invasion rehearsal. What else it is? Just swimming trials or something? Yeah, so remember here. So for a drill with South Korea's warplanes, and the Allies' militaries are also preparing to revive their largest field exercise later this month. So should there be, who's provoking here? And I'm quoting, we keep an eye on the restless military moves by the US forces and the South Korea puppet military and are always on standby to take appropriate, quick and overwhelming action at any time according to our judgment, end quote. Remember what the Americans are saying in their nuclear doctrine? They can use nuclear weapons preemptively if they feel that their national security is threatened. Can they do the same thing? Oh, no, no, no. Because we're the good guys. Remember what Israel said about Iran yesterday, Netanyahu? Well, we have the right of self-defense and we can attack Iran's nuclear facilities if we want, which is illegal according to international law. I just found out today by Mr. Grossi, the president or chief of the IAEA. He said, I don't say anything about Israel, but the fact that if they attack with the Americans nuclear facilities in Iran, that is illegal ban under the international law. I think they signed in 1946, I think, or 1946. They signed this kind of agreement where you don't attack nuclear facilities. Well, the Americans and the Israelis seem to don't care about it. That's what Grossi said. All right, I'm not saying that I did. I did what he said, and I believe him because he made a statement in public. So I don't think he would lie quite like that. So in this case, look, you have United States involved somehow in Ukraine, defending Ukraine and helping Ukraine. We have United States with Israel defending Israel's right to defend itself from the Iranians. That's a war. It could be a war. We already got a war in Ukraine. They got a war in Ukraine. They can have right now a war in Middle East with Iran. They can have tomorrow a war, or whenever these things happen right now with North Korea. So who's the common denominator here? You would say who's the troublemaker, or you can say who's the force of good here. United States is the force of good. Make sure that we attack all these bad dudes. Again, who's Poking at whom everywhere? Who's involved in this? And they talk about, for instance, Russia having imperialistic tendencies and mentality. Are you kidding me? Tell me where Russia is involved on this planet. Oh, it's Ukraine. Okay, let me give you that. Ukraine. Anywhere else? Anywhere else? Fuck no. Look at the other one. Everywhere almost where you see, even in the Balkans, even in Yugoslavia, got its nose over there. The same guy in Iraq, Libya, Afghanistan, even in Syria, they still have forces over there. So who is the imperialistic power here? Unless you consider this country by default being the perfect country in charge of this planet, everything else is fake. Everything else is hypocritical. I don't defend the North Koreans because I don't care about them. But I defend I think justice. I'm just analyzing it. And how in the hell can you say these guys should not feel threatened by these guys? You tell me. Unless you say these are bad and we have to contain them. Okay, what did they do to you? What did they do to South Korea? I'm not talking about the war. That actually, if you read what happened, some people did not agree to do something in Korea. You remember how the war started? Remember? Well, if you remember, then you remember. If you don't, just do 2 clicks and find out again. If the Chinese would not have come down with their armies, the United Nations would have pushed the North Koreans to what? To China? Anyway, it's not. It's more than these guys are telling us. Situation here. What if, let's say, North Korea, I don't know, has a little itchy finger and detonates a nuclear weapon somewhere? Then what? I guarantee you, all the free world and free press will say they attacked unprovoked attack. And it's crazy. If they will have time to say anything. And who's going to be hurt? Do you think that Americans will be hurt? No. It's going to be the fellow Koreans. South Korea and North Korea, the same. It's just a different, oh my God, South Korea. Oh, North Korea. Come on, anyway. I'm not going to go into that one. So the Koreans will be in one another, not the other guys. The same, when Israel and the United States would attack Iran, who's going to be Americans? Americans are what? 7,000 miles away from that. They will just watch it on the TV with their pop, slurping, and with the beer. Yeah, honey, we're kicking their butt, man. It was with that exact thing was in Iraq. But I just told you, and with in Yugoslavia, everybody was TV watching how things occurred, and then in Iraq and all that. I said Iraq, whatever, man. It's just irritating. So yeah, maybe I don't know. In a few days we're gonna have a war over there, nuclear war, because I don't think the woodchuck will gonna send conventional weapons. I'm almost guaranteeing you that those guys are not gonna be Russians. Those are not Koreans. Oh my God, did I say that? Yeah, they're different, and I think they will not. Let's talk, let's negotiate. Bullshit. We told you, we warned you, you kept doing it, boom. The problem is they will not stop the command center. They will just hit the poor Koreans over there. I don't know. I think we are big war, can at least 2, 3, because they push China as well, could start. If these guys lose their nerve or say, okay, enough is enough, that war could start at any moment. And who's going to be blamed? All these bad dudes. China, North Korea, Russia, Iran, they are, and the rest is the forces of good. I don't buy that whatsoever. You know what? Because I have memory, I read things, and I remember things. So I know who's who, what's what. It's not hard. You find the same kind of bullshit in each and every scenario, and the same player everywhere. And the player is never involved actively. He's always behind the scenes. It's like, as I always say, the circus trainer for the lions and how do you call those, tigers? In the cage, when they go over there to train them, they go with a long pole and a long big whip. And the whip, and these are North Korea and NATO in this case, pop. Or it's Taiwan and whatever other guys in Europe, NATO, whatever, and they poke and they hit and they fight, and the tiger or the lion fights with a pole and with a stupid whip until it gets to you, and when it gets to you, it's gonna eat you, unless the guys over there with the jets will push the tiger away with the water. That's it. I saw that in real life. So, but that's how they do. Everywhere is the same thing. It's the same guy hitting the bad dude over there in Ukraine, in Iran, in Taiwan, South Korea or North Korea, however we want to take it, and in the Balkans. And you tell me the guy is the guy who is the force of good. Once we get rid of all the bad people here, we're going to put Pax Americana. Everybody will be good. And what makes you think? Don't you remember what they did to Iraq? Did you remember what happened to Libya? And if you tell me they deserved it, then again, get a few clicks. I actually need more than a few clicks for that. And there were the good guys in Yugoslavia, bombarding Yugoslavia for what? For 74 days or 72 days? There was an illegal bombardment. It was not, how do you call it, approved by United Nations. That makes it illegal by the defensive alliance NATO. So you know what? Wait for it. And the containment, I think, is poking. And those guys will react and will say, well, unprovoked right there, unprovoked right here, unprovoked right here. Why? The mass media will tell you so. And most people will believe it. Why? Because they're dumb. Yeah, they are. Look around you. At least 40% of our population has an IQ below 86. Now, below 86, you're considered clinically? Okay, yeah, exactly. And those 40% vote you out, negate your vote, nullify your vote. So yeah, the mass media doesn't have to convince you or me or whoever. They have to convince those guys, a few of those. And they will be more than the other guys. Anyway, I'm not going to cite, but I will anyway. Albert Einstein, he said for 9.99% of the population on this planet, the brain is extra. The backbone would have been enough. That's what he said, not me. Go and argue with him. And you wouldn't, because you will be called names. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.